What's going on, guys? Life of Lee podcast. I am your resident dumbass of a host, Lee Anthony. So I've just shot episode 12 and I went to check it, and it turns out that I didn't actually record it on. You hear that? I didn't record it on the phone, so I've only got the audio. Now, I was going to reshoot the entire episode, but to be honest, I just can't be fucked. So I'm just going to run the audio over the picture for the logo of the podcast, and you will just have to make do with that, I'm afraid. But hopefully I should have another episode up Monday at 7 p.m, and that should be the regular time for the podcast from now on, as long as I can stay dedicated to that, which hopefully I will. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Hopefully this will be the only week it happens, but like, podcasts should just be audio anyway. Like, I'm just giving you an extra dimension with the whole visual aspect. But yeah, hope you enjoy the episode, and they should be up every Monday at 7 p.m. from now on. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you in the next one. What's going on, guys? Lively podcast, episode 12. How you doing? How you been? You enjoying the lockdown? You enjoying the sunshine? If it's sunny where you are, I don't know where you are. I just had a donut. It was good. Yeah, it's been another little break between the last episode and this episode, but some stuff's changed in between. Last episode, I hadn't long started a new job, and I was kind of bitching about it a wee bit. It was night shift, you know. It wasn't soul destroying, but it was just so fucking monotonous. You know, you're just stocking the same shelves with the same stock night after night after night after night after night, and it's not the most rewarding thing. And then obviously the effect that it has on your sleep pattern, and you know, just in general. Like, do you know night shift is considered a carcinogenic, causes cancer, just because of the toll it puts on your body, and how much it puts out of the circadian rhythm, like when your body's meant to be awake and meant to be asleep and all that kind of stuff. So you know what I've done? Got myself another job. Fucking much better job. A much better job. Like, I'm a landscaper now, basically. And like, in the transition between that job and this job, I had to do basically like a 24-hour shift. Like, I was out day shift, got up at 7, left here about 7:30. Went and got picked up, took to the job. It was a massive garden that was just like overrun, and I just had to take it back to like bare bones, like trimming, cutting bushes, fucking weeding, digging out roots. Like, it was a full day shift. Finished there, got back home just after 6, had some dinner, blah blah blah, and then 10 o'clock rolled up to where I was working to do a 12-hour night shift. So then I got back in the house the next day at like 7:45. So that was 24 hours, 45 minutes. That I was basically just out working. So that was like the transition point between that job and this new job. So I'd done a couple of shifts last week, which were good. It was kind of just more gardening kind of stuff. And then in the last week there, like, I dug out a patio, which was a lot of fucking work. A lot of tons of dirt just dug out by hand, barrowed, moved. But the weather's been incredible, and I'm basically getting paid to train, you know what I mean? And it's the effect, like, I'll go in and just be told, like, I get dropped off and told, right, this, see you in a few hours, and then they fuck off, leave me all the equipment, I get the job done. And when you're talking about, like, digging out a patio or laying a decking or fucking doing, like, undertaking like a big gardening job, you start off, like, you get there, you do whatever, and then at the end of the day, the family or the person or, you know, the client comes out and they're just like, oh, this looks incredible, blah blah blah. Like, I'd done a garden for a woman, and then around about 4 o'clock she came out, and like, they had patio furniture and that, but it had been kind of cast to the side, so I brought it all out and set it all out nice, cleaned it and all that kind of shit, as well as doing the old garden. And then she came out and she was sitting there having a glass of wine. She's like, you know, I've not been able to do this in years, just come out and enjoy my garden and blah blah blah. And it's giving little moments like that to people while also enjoying the sun and working out and getting paid. Do you know what I mean? Like, working in that supermarket, like, it's a weird kind of thing. Like, I worked in a supermarket before, and I take kind of, not pride in any kind of way, but I enjoy, like, if I'm stocking a shelf, I like to have all the shit, and it's not like OCD or blah blah blah. It's more being ex-military. You know, it's like the uniformity of it and the just the presentation of it, and I enjoy that. But it wouldn't matter if I had every label fucking sitting perpendicular and fucking equilateral to the next one, and it was all fucking laid out nice and neat. They were just like, all right, go and do the next aisle. You know what I mean? There was no, and I'm not that I'm chasing anything for reward or recognition or appreciation, but it's fucking nice at the end of a hard day's work if the people that you're working for come out and be like, you know, thank you so much for that. You've made such a difference, and blah blah blah. And it motivates you to get up the next morning and to go out and do it again. But also, since I started this job, I know last episode I was talking about like my back injury and that kind of shit, and it's feeling much better. I've been dedicating a lot of time to just stretching and decompression exercises and that kind of stuff. But since this job started, I've made a dedicated commitment to fucking discipline. And every night when I get in from work, like, I come in just for a bit of like decompression. I sit, have 2 joints, watch a wee bit of TV. Takes like an hour, and then I come up and I do my workout. And I do my workout before dinner, and I'm not allowed to have dinner until I've worked out. And like, one of the days, I was laying decking, which was quite an easy shift. I had to like dig out the whole fucking layout and that kind of stuff, which was, it was hard work, but it was a relatively simple shift. So then I came in, done my workout, done my stretch, and I was feeling pretty good. And then one of the days, like, I dug out an entire patio, like 8 meters by 4 meters, like 6 inches deep, basically. So it's a lot of fucking work. Came home and I was ruined, but I still done my workout and done my stretching. And every morning that I've woke up, I've been fine. There's not been a bit of pain, stiffness, nothing. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting pretty fucking ripped and cut up, so, and I'm getting paid to do it at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not like a permanent thing, like, I'm just fucking, like, this is my 40th job that I'm in now, and I've got no problem jumping between things when it suits me, when I need to. Like, if I get a good commercial job or a good acting gig that pays a bit, like, I'm not immediately looking for the next thing. Like, I'll take some time off and just enjoy that money and, you know, do different things and invest time into some other interests that I have. That's the thing though, in the last week, I've ordered a lot of stuff that's really going to help push me on to the next level, whatever that level may or may not be. Love we do. This is some wedding cake, and it's a very, very nice smoke. But yeah, the stuff that I've ordered, it's really to help push me into the next level. Like, I've ordered something for the podcast, which you can probably guess what it is. I've also, one of the things I'm really excited about, I've ordered a nice 5 gram of mushrooms, because when it comes to mushrooms, like, the kind of granddaddy of mushrooms is Terence Mckenna. Like, him and his brother are responsible for basically the mapping out, not the genome, but I don't really know what they've done. They've done so much. They were the guys that kind of brought cultivation and home cultivation of psychedelic psilocybin mushrooms to the masses, and they worked out the best way of doing it and what have you. And Terence, who I respect for a lot of different reasons, not just the psychedelic world, also his work on Time Wave Zero or Time Point Zero, all that kind of stuff, which turned out to be a bit off the mark, but he put a lot of work into it, and I like his thinking on that stuff. But yeah, Terence has always said the way to do mushrooms is 5 dried grams in silent darkness. If you want to heal some shit, if you want to fucking go deep inside yourself, get introspective, if you want to find out who the fuck you are and what your place is in the world, and also eradicate anxiety and fear, and, you know, just put a shine on the world, put a shine on every day, put a shine on every breath that you take, then this is the way to do it. Now, my experience with mushrooms, it's kind of what kicked off my psychedelic renaissance in a way. Like, I'd done psychedelics growing up through my teens and early 20s, but it was always more party kind of drugs, ecstasy and like acid, but in a party setting. And then through watching stuff from Terence, I was like, no, mushrooms seem like the way to go. But I've only ever done mushrooms with another person. Like my whole initial adventures into the fungi was with a specific person who probably won't want to get named because they were really weird about the public knowing that they've done shrooms. Which still kind of, that whole attitude towards psychedelics, it gets to me in a way. Like, why is it so fucking socially acceptable? Like, I could go out right now, buy a litre of vodka, fucking tan it and get wrecked and just be a complete mess, and people would be like, oh, that's cool. But if I go and take 5 grams of mushrooms and have a completely transformative and life enriching and anxiety reducing and fucking motivation refocusing experience, then one, it's illegal, and two, I'll be outcast if I talk about it in public and labelled as fucking this, that, and the next thing. Usually by the people who would benefit the most from a mushroom trip, which is the irony that it's all wrapped up in. But yeah, so I've only ever done mushrooms with one other person in particular, but other people in general. And the thing is, like, although I had great experiences with that person, like, it was incredible, and you know, it couldn't have been any better for what we were doing at the time because we were both getting into it at the same time. So I don't think anyway that you just want to go off on your own immediately and that kind of shit. But yeah, I did, the whole time I was doing that, I did always have in my mind, like, right, this is great, but I do need to do this by myself. And the reason why is, like, if you do psychedelics with another person, they're going to influence your trip in some kind of way. Their energy, their aura, their fucking interactions with you, whatever. It's definitely going to affect the narrative in the course of your trip in some kind of way. But if you do it by yourself in silent darkness in a comfortable setting with very minimal external manipulators, you know, forces, distractions, basically, that's where the real magic happens. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Although I think I've made a lot of really good progress in the last little while, just within myself and the way I approach things and my attitude towards things and that kind of stuff. I feel this might be a good push in the right direction as well, because there's still so much other stuff that I need to sort out and refine, and like my diet, that's a big one that I'm about to tackle, and the mushrooms really help with that. DMT helps as well, because once you've had a trip like that, sometimes I've heard people actually getting shown in the trip, like they're damaging their body through their diet or their lifestyle, smoking, drugs, drink, whatever, and they've been told to stop doing it. But it also, irrespective of that, it also it just makes you look at things differently, like what you're putting in your body and the benefits of it and the risks and the yeah, it just transforms your whole mindset towards how you live your life. And although I realized this, like, through my psychedelic use, I didn't initiate any change at the time, and that's completely my own fault, and I can analyze that and I can be like, all right, I fucked up there, so next time I'll do it differently, and that's what I'm going to do. So I also ordered a kilo of Mimosa hostilis root bark, which is what you extract DMT from. So, and I got 1 tab of acid, because I've not done acid in like 15 years, and I've got a box. I've got a really nice wooden box, and it's like over 100 years old, and that's what I keep my primarily DMT paraphernalia. Like, I had glass jars that had like the powder form and the changa, and like I've got wee boxes with different shit. But I always wanted to have like the drugs that I enjoy in it at one time, like weed, shrooms, acid, and DMT. I wanted that in my box at the one time, like just a little collection of it. And hopefully I should have that next week. So what I'm going to do is next weekend I'm going to have a little mushroom trip and see how that goes. Then I'll produce DMT It'll come next week. I need to get the caustic soda though. Sorry, I'm rhyming off a fucking shopping list here. So yeah, I'll do the shrooms. Hopefully get a nice reset with that. And then I'll have DMT on hand again. But I'm going to approach it much differently. Like when I had my own supply of DMT before, I just not that I couldn't get enough of it, and it wasn't like DMT is in no way like a drug. You know, it's not an effect you get. It's not something that you chase. It's you literally get transported to another fucking realm of existence. And for me personally, I wanted to do some exploring while I was over there. And then after I went camping and my whole relationship with DMT completely changed, i.e., instead of going out into that realm, it appeared like I started just going laterally through alternate versions of myself or alternate incarnations of myself and alternate realities and alternate just existences. Once that started happening, my use became more of, all right, I want to see where I go, and if I stay there a while and see what's different and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kicked the ass out of it a bit to make a long story short. So this time I'm going to approach it much more ritualistically and much more academically as well. Like it was always in my mind to record my trips in some way, either have pen and paper waiting for me to come out or record them so I could just directly narrate and transcribe what I saw immediately. But I just never done it. The excitement for going to the place negated the preparation for actually filming it and taking fucking course of it. So I will approach it in a much more, not scientific way, but a much more ritualistic, almost shamanistic kind of way. And the acid, I got that just for fucking, I'll just take that one weekend just to see, just to have that experience again. So yeah, ordered some other stuff. I've got this like ambassadorship for a fitness brand that should be kicking off next week. I'm going to start filming a lot of different stuff for that. I've linked up with my mate Alan again. We're not spoken. We're really, really close friends, but there's sometimes we just don't speak for a while. And there's nothing bad about it. There's no blame or cause. We just don't speak for a while. But then when we do speak again, it's like fucking ah. So we were chatting last night and today, and like he's an incredible freerunner, but he's been battling some injuries for a while. But he's on board to come out and help me shoot some promo stuff because for a deal like what I'm doing now, it's all about content and producing as much content and as high standard of content as possible. So that will be coming, and that gives me something to direct my mind to. Like that's my whole thing right now. I just want to have not as little downtime as possible because I do still like relaxing and just chilling out and watching YouTube or fucking Rick and Morty. Like I watched the new Rick and Morty last night, and what a fucking great episode. See, in terms of existence and the possibility of what our reality actually is, they captured it just implicitly. See when like they kept like their head would move and they'd be in another reality, living out another life with another explanation of where they came from, and then they would snap back in, and like that's really fucking close to how I perceive reality to be. Like every possibility is playing out at the one time, and I do think there is certain maneuvers that are available to place you into different realities or different timelines or whatever at different times. Yeah, so that's been me really for the last couple of weeks, just going different places, doing different things, some hard labour, some good labour, and just feeling really, really, really good. Like I know the last couple of episodes I've done in the lead up to him, because I mean, like this episode today is Saturday, and I started thinking like Tuesday, all right, I'll go home and shoot an episode tonight, and then when I got home, I'd done my other stuff, and I was like, no, right, I'll do it, blah 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 blah, and it's now Saturday. So to combat that as well, and to create some more structure to this podcast, I'm going to start releasing them every Monday, hopefully at 7 p.m. because that means I should always be free to shoot an episode Sunday night, and then I can publish it, which takes a few hours, upload it that night, and then when I get in from work, I should always be in from work before 7 on a Monday, and then I can just fucking, it'll already be uploaded to YouTube. I can just do a title, fucking thumbnail, that kind of shit, and send it out to you guys. I'm going to try and not up the production value, but I'm going to try and take more care. I'm going to try and make this podcast more of what I initially wanted it to be, where it would be basically a recap of my week or talking about different specific things. Like it popped up on Facebook, that was a year ago that I was in Game of Thrones, like front and center, leading Golden Company out. So I want to do a whole episode where I talk about just my experience in Game of Thrones because it was fucking awesome. What was I saying there? Yeah, so and it's like talking about that, like I want to have like pictures coming up and stuff, and and maybe run a second camera so I've got different angles just to mix it up a bit so it's not as boring for you guys. Do you know what I mean? Like I watched this thing years ago and it was talking about how they make music videos and like how they cut it up constantly, like roughly every 3 seconds to keep the like audience their brain resetting. Like they get used to this shot. And then it resets and it re-engages their brain so they're interested again. Oh, a new shot and that kind of stuff. So I want to just jazz it up a wee bit so I'm not just sitting same background, same fucking la da da da. But we'll see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? Like this is still only episode 12. Like, and I do think about the podcast more than I make the podcast. And there's like nights where I'm lying in bed, like maybe one day I'll have like a facility like Rogan's. You know what I mean? And I'll have my studio there, and I'll have a big bit for like a parkour fucking area built, and I'll have like my own gym, I'll have a recording studio for the band and a rehearsal studio, like all in the one place, and then I drift off to sleep, like a little smile on my face thinking about it. And you never know, and that's exactly why I'm doing this. That's why I'm starting it off in my bedroom, because one day it might get to one day it might get to a place where it is my own studio and it is worldwide and it is fucking like a Rogan style thing with millions of people, and then people can come back to episode 12 and be like, fuck, he said this was going to happen and he just, like there he had nothing, and then from there he done this and he put time into this and this and this and this, and then he got up there. Like, this is why I'm doing this. It's something that fascinates me when you look at a successful person and then you find out how they've done it. You see their journey, you see what they went through, the ups and downs, and a lot of time it all begins with overcoming adversity that's got nothing to do with making it as anything, you know what I mean? It's just overcoming something over here that gives you the confidence to then later on approach something else, which is exactly how my life went. Like I went through shit when I was younger that definitely gave me the courage to approach stuff later on, but the way it affected me in terms of making me quite reclusive and enjoying isolation and that kind of stuff, that time spent by myself allows me to focus on other things and to refine things and to learn skills and to dedicate time to stuff instead of like dedicating all my time to a social circle. You finish work, you come and have your dinner, and then you're just out hanging out with people and just talking, never actually doing anything, never achieving anything or completing anything or collaborating in anything, just going out and talking about what other people are doing. I can't do that. That's not for me. And even if it's just like, I'd much rather spend half an hour sitting doing this and maybe 20 people see it than sit and watch half an hour of shit on YouTube that someone else done. You know what I mean? And that might sound a bit what's the word? It might sound a bit hypocritical because there's been such gaps between. But again, that just comes back to me being lazy as fuck. And hopefully I'm trying to change that now. Well, not change it completely. Like, I still want to have some lounge kind of time, but I do want to be more just you know, just more, just always making the moves to go forward, you know, like no more. I can either sit in my ass or I can move forward. No more doing stuff that's going to take me back, you know. Just that kind of dedication and discipline. That's really all that it comes down to. Like some of the days I've finished, um, I've been coming home like starving, like just dusty from head to toe, muddy. Feeling good though, feeling like, you know. But then I'm like, oh, I need to go and do my workout. And I just do not want to do it. But I sit, and as soon as I put out that second joint, I just get up and I come up and I get it done. And the sooner I get done, the sooner it's finished, the sooner I can go back to fucking eating dinner and, you know, just chilling out and that kind of shit. And I've still been keeping up my sunset walks every night, just going out a walk at sunset, going around and just saying what I'm thankful for. The stuff that I'm thankful for now, and I'm talking about everything: my socks, my boxers, my sweats, the chair, the fucking tripod, the charger, the phone, everything. Grateful for what I have now, and grateful for what's coming into my life. And I really feel that facilitating and an attitude of gratitude definitely opens up more room in your life for good shit to come in. And then if you appreciate that, it opens up room for more shit to come in, you know? And I like doing good shit in my life. So, and the other thing is, like, there's just been an influx of good stuff happening. Like, my mate Gary, I was chatting to him the other day, like, just he's running on all cylinders right now, and little things that, little like checkpoints he'd set himself, like, oh, it'll be good when that happens and this happens, you know. Those kind of things have just been coming out of the woodwork, and he's been making little connections that he needs to do different things. Like, he's just a lot of stuff happening for him. My mate Alan, chatting to him last night and today, a lot of good shit's happening for him. Stuff moving, he's ironing stuff out, he's patching up some relationships that he'd had trouble with and that kind of stuff, and he's doing fucking great. And it's so good to see people just making the best of their life, you know what I mean, and really pushing themselves and really expanding and experiencing more. And like, one of the biggest motivators years ago, and it says that, I think it said 80% of people will live, are born, live, and die. They spend their entire life within a 5 mile radius. Like, they might go off on holiday and come back, but, you know, they're born, they're raised, and then they live, raise their own family, and then unfortunately die in the same 5 mile radius. And I can't do that, ladies and gents. Like, there's a big fucking world out there, and especially the 5 mile that leads out from where I am right now. It's not the prettiest 5 miles. It's not the most exciting 5 miles. There's better places to be in this fucking world and more experiences to have, and that's what I'm chasing. Like, I can't fucking, like, move out here and then get a house a couple of streets over, you know, meet a local girl and just have a kid and then have another kid, and like, just be here and raise them here, and then they have kids and then grind. Nah, I'm 33. I'll be dead fucking soon enough, and there's just so much shit that I want to get done before I die. Like, I have got no fear or apprehension of death whatsoever. Like, I didn't have for a long time anyway. I always had quite a strange, not relationship to death, but just concept of death. Like, okay, I won't be doing this anymore. I'll probably be doing something else. That's how I always just thought about it. But then, through my experiences with DMT and my absolute fundamental belief that it is a connection to the source, where you come from before you're here and where you go after you're here. And now it's not like, oh, I might die one day. It's, oh shit, I'm going to die one day. And yeah, that place is fucking awesome and incredible, but this place is still pretty cool. So I want to try and get as much stuff done here now before I get to that fucking incredible fucking place right now. Like, if you're sitting in a waiting room, you can either sit twiddling your thumbs, or you could read a book, or, you know, you could fucking play a game on your phone, you could phone someone, you could write something, you could make that time work for you. And that's like, I've heard this life referred to as God's waiting room, and that's essentially, for me, it's more the universe's waiting room, or the energetic waiting room, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Be poetic as you want, but that's really what it is. The place we go after this is so fantastical. It's not a heaven hell kind of thing. Like, it's just a complete, fully immersive fucking embodiment of energy and love, and you know. But here, this is the only place we can experience pain. This is the only place we can experience heartache and ups and downs and frustrations and successes. Like, up there, it's unified, universal, unconditional love. So down here is where we're meant to experience our cuts and bruises and falls and scrapes and loves and losses, and just get out there and do as much as possible, as with as many people as possible, and meet as many people and go into as many places and try to get as many skills and hobbies, and just live your fucking life, ladies and gents, every day. And thank you for stopping by on a little half-hour segment of mine. That's just reached the 30 minutes. So I'm going to go get myself some dinner and see where the evening takes me. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you Monday at 7. And I'm thinking about changing the theme song. I meant to speak about this. And I might be putting out a call to arms to get people to help me with that. So keep an eye on my social medias, and that should be up in the next couple of days. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you in the next one.